Well, a lot has happened since we've been gone. Let's talk about it right here on Zach Talks Hawks. Hi, guys. It's Zach here, and I am so ready to start talking Seahawks football with you here. We've had multitude of computer issues, and all those things are now fixed, and life has just been kind of nuts. And just as crazy as what the Seahawks season has unfolded to be in their 2-4 effort so far this season. Tonight they're going to play the New Orleans Saints at home in what I'm sure is going to be quite the ruckus environment because Matt Hasselbeck is going to be inducted into the Ring of Honor tonight in Seattle, and watching that guy play, Matt Hasselbeck was my quarterback growing up, and it's really cool to see Matt get the recognition that he really deserves. He saved Seahawk football, in my opinion, and led the team to their first Super Bowl appearance. So definitely worthy of being in the Ring of Honor, as well as a couple other guys from that era that I am hopeful that Seattle makes right really soon. But there's enough things for them to worry about as the Saints come into town tonight, and we're going to be talking about three keys to victory when it comes to Seahawks football tonight, and then I'm going to give you my prediction of where I think this team is going to wind up at the end of this Monday Night Football matchup. Games against the Saints are always really entertaining. I'm always brought to games like the Beastquake game and what it means to do battle with Drew Brees over the years, and how Russell really looks up to Brees as that kind of mentor, lower stature guy that made it in the NFL. And those matchups were always a pleasure to look forward to. And yet, this Saints team looks a lot different than those teams that we've been faced with in the past, mainly because we got Jameis Winston now at the helm for New Orleans, and they are really coming off strong when it comes to where they are in their division and their aspirations as a hopeful in the NFC. So, what's it going to take for Seattle to knock off, punch up a little bit versus this team? As they are minus many players when it comes to playmakers on this team. Chris Carson's out. Of course, Russell Wilson's out. Different players on the defensive front are listed as questionable this evening. So what is it going to take for Seattle to pull off this upset against New Orleans? Our three keys to victory, two of them lie within the running game, and so let's talk about that tonight. The Seahawks run defense is much like many other aspects of this defense, has been found out. They are struggling this year to stop much of anything. And in typical Seahawks fashion, they keep games close, and by the end of the game, the defense is always spent. The first takeaway for tonight is trying to understand to stop Kamara in the running game. This is a problem for this defense all year, right? We saw it against Tennessee, although Derrick Henry, he's taken people's names and understanding that he very well might be an MVP candidate for how he's been playing this year. Everybody has problems with him, but Seattle especially has problems with the run game and making sure that it's stifled. This running game for New Orleans looks a little bit different than that ground and pound that we saw from New Orleans. Alvin Kamara being the running back for the Saints. He's going to go east to west a lot tonight, and the extension of the passing game, he's going to find himself on screens and quick throws out into the flat. And what is it going to take for Seattle to stop that? I think the key lies within those defensive edge rushers, making sure that things are contained nice and well. And Kamara doesn't go east to west, but he's forced to go north and south. And hopefully he finds some big Seahawk defensive tackles that are ready for him up the middle. That's going to be a huge uphill climb, I think, for this defense tonight because there's going to be a litany of issues for this defense to cover, and this is just one specific area. I don't think that Kamara will have like a career day against Seattle, but I certainly think that he's going to handle this defense mightily and is going to show just how hard it is for this defense to really contain east to west versus a quick and shifty runner like Kamara. Our second takeaway is going to be talking about establishing the run on our end. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? When Russ was the quarterback, it was always talking about, well, we need to pass it more, and we got to use our offensive weapons on the outside, and we got to use the tight ends more in the passing game. And well, Russell Wilson's not the quarterback. It's Geno Smith. And I'm not saying we need to establish the running game because I think it's going to be super effective against the Saints. I just say that you need to establish the running game because it can't all be on Geno throughout the course of this contest. Geno's played decently. Don't hear me when I start talking about this offense. Geno has led this team back-to-back weeks in positions to win by the end of the contest. When it's like 3 to 5 minutes left, Geno gets the ball in his hands. What is he going to do? Well, he's shown us over the last 2 weeks that he's thrown a pick and he's fumbled. So let's not put that quarterback in that position this week. Don't try to win the ball game in the last 5 minutes. Go out there and win it for the course of the contest. And one way that you can do that and ensure that your quarterback isn't in a must-win situation by the end of the game is making sure that the run is a priority. Alex Collins has looked really strong for this team. He is dinged up, though, and he is questionable for tonight, and I'm fearing that we're not going to see the same physical bruising kind of runner that we've come to really like from Collins. He definitely looks and runs a lot like Marshawn Lynch, and I know for a lot of us that's a joy to see. So who else is on the roster? Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny's coming back tonight, and be careful, because if you look at him wrong through the television set, he might get hurt again. This is his career night. Drafted in the first round, continuously injured. When he's had times on the field, he's had sparks of being electric, but ultimately he does lack vision. What is it going to take for Rashad Penny to step up to the plate and to go, you know what? I'm not a bust. I deserve to be thought about highly on this team. When Carson comes back, sure, he'll play second fiddle, but at least he can beat out Alex Collins for that second running back spot. I say all that because Geno Smith can be really effective in the play action passing game. When you roll him out, he's kind of mobile. He's very tall, very lanky. He can generate some speed when he is prompted to, and he's shown over these last few weeks that he can throw on the run. He definitely can maneuver through the pocket and navigate through situations. I've been very impressed with his footwork when situations demanded of him. So it's important to establish the run game so that Geno's put in the best position to be successful. Our third takeaway lies on the Seattle front when it comes to the passing game. Gone is Trey Flowers. That experiment is over. Thank goodness. We talked about that last time I was here. And now we see glimpses of hope from the quarterback room when it comes to the rookie Austin on the outside and key players like Ugo Amani trying to make a name for himself. He's been playing really aggressive over these last few weeks, and I'm starting to see it from the corners, but ultimately they're going to have issues like they've had all season. Why? Because they're playing in that Seattle defensive scheme by Ken Norton. Give him 8 yards. Play back on him and hope for the best. Ugh, it's every week with these guys. And it's not just the corners who are subject to worse play because of the scheme that they're in. Seattle's great linebacking core. Jordan Brooks looks really lost in pass coverage. Don't know why they're not using a guy like Ben Burke-Irvin out there more. Why are we having defensive tackles go back into pass coverage? Why is Jamal Adams saying he's the best in the nation, but playing far from it, especially in pass coverage? All of these things demand a lot out of a defensive front versus a quarterback in Jameis Winston that when he is on, he plays like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. So what is it going to take from this team to make sure that Jameis doesn't get in a rhythm? It all starts up front. Making sure that Seattle gets to the quarterback. The Saints have allowed 9 sacks in the last 5 games. So what is it going to take for the Seattle pass front to get in Winston's face, to wreak havoc on that scheme, to make him not throw in rhythm? He's very prone to making silly mistakes at the quarterback spot. But man, is that a tough call for these guys rushing the passer. It's going to be a tough task for these guys. It's all going to boil down to this defensive front holding the line, making sure that this offense can have some time to play catch up during the game. Ultimately, today's game is a lot of if Seattle does this well, then they're going to win the game. And not a lot of statements like that for the Saints. That's why I believe tonight Seattle very well might be on the cusp of talking about next year, talking about what it means to rebuild and look for the future. I could be wrong here, but I think the Saints win this heavily, 24-13, and in a game where perhaps Seattle's held to like 6 points going to the fourth quarter. It's a huge uphill climb, and ultimately, us fans have to admit we've had it good for a long time being Seahawks fans, and we very well might be looking into what a rebuild looks like for this franchise moving forward. Could be wrong. Hope I'm wrong. In the meantime, enjoy the game tonight. Keep talking Hawks, and I am so excited to be back here consistently with you on YouTube until we meet again when we debrief about this game. Go Hawks.